And we're live. Today I have the honor of interviewing Pretty Bulli, an established lyricist, songwriter. Bulli has bars. She has a new album out called Then and Now. We're going to bring her in and talk to her about her new project, her career, future plans, what she's got going on, and more. Let's bring her in.
Hello. How you doing, love?
I'm so good. What an honor to have you on. Man, talk about lyrics.
Oh, well, thank you, honey.
Bully has bars. You have a new album that just dropped less than a month ago, Then and Now, completely produced by Kid Called Quest.
That guy.
I didn't know I was going to get it all.
Oh, yeah, you got a duo here.
That is spectacular. Kid Called Quest, it's an honor to have you on. Pretty Bulli. Wow. What a pleasure to talk about this new album, Then and Now. Talk to us about the album, what it means, what does Then and Now mean, and some of the production.
The production is fully produced by Kid Called Quest. To us, it was a journey. You know what I mean? Like, it was a process. It didn't happen right away. It was about, what, maybe 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
2 years. You know, so because when we first initially picked out beats, we were only going to do an EP, you know, but as life kept lifing, you know, things kept happening. We kept dropping singles, you know, and then it rolled around and Quest was like, yo, we got an album here.
Yeah, let's
like
keep going.
Yeah, we just going in, man. Just in that zone.
Yeah. So what does Then and Now mean to you? Like, where does the title come from?
It explained the project for me because we didn't name it until it was already completed.
Yeah.
So for us to listen to it, that's what it said to me, you know, because I'm not the same person I used to be. We all change.
Absolutely.
You know, you evolve as a person, you know, and just listening to the tracks that we had, I could hear the growth that we made.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, yeah, that was then, and this is now.
Yeah. Hey, but some people don't change.
This is true. You got that. You got that. This is true.
Yeah. But going through your discography and listening to, you know, the work that you've put in over the year, from like the mixtapes you did early on, right? No Soda, right? And then right? And then up to now, Then and Now, right? There's the Castle Money, Duffel Bag Bully also, right?
Money, yes.
Absolutely. So there's other work you're doing, but it's truly an honor to have Kid Called Quest on here also, because the production is so special on this project. It's masterfully produced. The album has something that I think often albums don't have anymore, where the track layout and the way that you pulled in interviews that you've done and mix that into the mix of the intro and weaving that into the song to create a project, right?
Yes,
with a flavor and all the details, the quest that you put into the production. It's not just the loop. There's an arrangement to the production. There's so many change-ups that are reminiscent to me of the golden era. Can you guys talk to us about the hip-hop that's influenced you and kind of what your music making consists of?
Understood. I'll let Quest give his perspective also. But we actually had a discussion during the process, and we were saying how we feel like a lot of the projects and albums that are coming out now, they're missing the aspects of hip hop that we love, that we grew up on. You know, so we actually made it our business to incorporate everything that we loved about it, that put us onto it, things that we missed. You know, even down to the digipacks with the CDs. And yes, click the link in the bio. We got digipacks.
Yes. Yeah. And Quest, what's the process like for you? Because the production's masterful. I mean, I was listening to it. I got the big speakers here. You know what I'm saying? I'm pumping it all day. I gotta know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going in deep. I'm going in deep. And I'm like,
really, like, you know,
like, this is so good.
Yeah, like, you know, really like the process when I was making the beats. Like, I always like to have fun when I'm creating. And trying to stay in my own lane and create my own sound. And Bulli just executed everything perfectly. Like everything that we did, she just took it, knocked out the ballpark with it. So yeah, just really just making sure that everything was just hitting right and everything was sounding good.
Yeah. The track Simplicity is such a banger. Now, my understanding is that was created when y'all first met, like on the spot. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. You know what? You sent the beat to my manager, Dame.
Yes.
Shout out to Damo. He sent it to him. And, neither one of us liked it. Fun fact. This is before
that's wild.
Great, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I first heard it, like, I guess, like just the beat itself. And then when I pulled up to Rochester to go record it, he said the same thing. He like, yo, I really didn't like this. I'm like, you too? So
wow.
It was crazy because I almost deleted the beat.
Look at
like I'm starting to get in the habit now. If I'm not feeling the beat, save it, come back later. But that was one of the beats I almost deleted. And I was like, nah, let me just pause it, stop right there and come back to it. And then I remember the last thing I added to the beat was the bass.
Yeah.
So then when I sent the beats over, I was debating like, dang, should I send this or not? Like, let me send it. I'll just send it, see, she might like it. And like I said, like she didn't like it at first. I didn't like it. But then when she added the lyrics and everything and we laid it down, like it took it to a whole nother level.
Understood.
Wow.
Understood.
What's interesting is whenever I interview an artist, I don't necessarily just focus on like they just dropped this new album, so let me just focus on that album, or let me focus on the single that they have out right now. I'm really taking you as an entire artist, and I look at your whole discography. So when I start the promo run, and I'm thinking like, what song am I going to add to the flyer? What video am I going to like lead off with? It could have been something dropped 3 years ago. If I personally am feeling it, I'm being the curator on my platform, right? So I go through the entirety of what I have access to and start selecting it, because that's what I'm doing, right? I'm basically being a DJ, a VJ in a sense, right? Of like, this is what I'm going to present to the people as I promote this artist for this interview.
Right.
So for me, out of all of the dope tracks you have, the one that stood out to me immediately is like, I'm going to put that one with the flyer was Simplicity.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to hear that the producer was like, this beat's all right, and the MC was like, all right, I'm gonna just do. But then when it all came together, that joint is a head nodder.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that was our relationship. Like, cause that day when I pulled up to record Simplicity, I actually picked the rest of the beats that were this then and now.
Wow.
Like that's when I chose the beats that day. So that started our history.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
So what's the writing process like for you? Are you, do you sit down with old school notebook? Is it up here riding around, like putting raps together in your head? What's for somebody as bar heavy as you are, can you share with us what the process is like?
It depends. It depends on what's happening, because I could be at work. I'm a traveling phlebotomist, so I'm usually driving. So most of the time, if you're in motion, you can't have a pen and a pad in your hand. But I will write around to instrumentals. But my preferred way of writing, I'm old school. Give me a notepad with an ink pen, maybe a number 2 pencil.
Yeah. Absolutely. Got it. Quest, what are you producing on? Like, what tools are you using?
So I use, like, majority of the albums done on the machine.
Okay.
As of right now, I've been mainly on back on the MP, but I don't know. It's weird. Like both machines give, like the machine and the software itself, it give you a different feel, and the machine, the MP itself got a different feel. So sometimes I might use them both together.
Yeah.
Or I'm just gonna stick with this machine right here.
Yeah. Is the machine MIDI triggered?
You can use it if you want as a MIDI trigger, but really it's like a software combined together.
Got it. And then with the MP, are you doing the drums on the pads?
Yep.
Got it. And then for the machine, are you doing the drums? Are you triggering the drums, or is it mostly loops?
Doing everything on me. Did everything on me because the machine's almost like the MP.
Yeah.
It was the very first software that I ever started using to make music with.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I love them both.
That's dope, man. And you know, for the producers out there, right? Because this is like when producers come across this and they're like, oh man, the producer of the Then and Now albums right there. Do you dig for samples? Do you work? Do you create your own? What's that process like for you as a producer?
I still physically dig at record shops. Yeah, so yeah, still dig for vinyl. I mean, I might, if it's something I find, if I happen to be like on YouTube and I come across something hot at the moment, I might sample it from there, or I'll go to eBay, see if I can find the actual vinyl to whatever. But I love sampling off vinyl. I feel like I got more.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. Now, and what's so dope about vinyl is how much stuff like kind of didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't make it through formats, right? Because you know, vinyl's coming back. Hip hop has kept vinyl alive.
Oh, definitely.
You know? Yeah. But it goes vinyl tape era. Stuff didn't make it to the tape era. Tape CDs digital, and then vinyl's back. But there's so much stuff that didn't make it through formats. It's only on vinyl. You know what I mean?
And that sound that you get from vinyl, like it's just that sound.
Yeah.
Not too clean, not too dirty, just right.
Just raw.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
in the Then and Now album, available everywhere. It's a banger.
Oh,
you can get the CD in the link in the bio, in Pretty Bully's bio. The intro. Talk to us about the intro, who that is, and how that came to be.
My Detroit hustle. Shout out to him. He has always been supportive. I mean, like different type level supportive. You know, I feel like we know each other by this point. You know, it's been maybe 3 years.
Yeah, about
3 years, about 3. But that was an actual interview, obviously. But when it was actually Quest's idea to put it on there, I was absolutely with it. Because like I said, I feel like we actually know each other right now. You know what I mean? And why not incorporate those that have been supportive along the journey?
Yeah.
You know? Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yeah, that's good. It sounds so good too, the way that it opens up. It's like an intro. Like the intro has an actual intro. You know what I mean? And it kind of presents you to the public, to the broader public. You've been making your way around the different channels to include major platforms like Shady 45 and Sway in the Morning. Can you talk to us what it was like to be at the Sway in the Morning show?
Out of body experience.
Wow.
It was absolutely out of body experience. Like seriously, because I grew up watching all of them. Like I was nervous standing next to Heather B. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
It's like, you know who she is?
Yeah.
What? Like I was absolutely nervous.
Yeah.
You know, I got to stand next to RZA, have a conversation with them, hug them like that. It was different. I grew up watching them. You know? So to be in that room, that is like a goal, an ultimate goal for an MC. Yeah. And a lot of us don't make it there.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so that was just like, when I tell you I was smiling so hard, my teeth was dry. I just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I was just happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yeah. It was,
you know,
it was
beautiful.
like, like in a lot of ways, that's like a major milestone that you reached in your career. That's super cool, man. Yeah. What an amazing experience.
I'll never forget that day.
Yeah. So often for your videos, I see BBJ.
Yes, right? Sir. Shout out to Black Belt Jones.
Black Belt Jones. You have a lot of music videos. They're great music videos.
Thank you.
You know, for an independent artist, you've been really putting in a lot of work visually, because a lot of people, you know, when you're a writer, when you're an MC, you love to make music, right? And the visual component of it is a whole other discipline, right?
It is.
So you got bars, Kid Called Quest makes beats. That's what y'all do. And a lot of creatives, they kind of focus on their area, right? Yes. So like you go in, you could write a song. Y'all could go into the studio in the morning and come out with a song that evening. But the discipline of creating music videos is something that a lot of artists, oftentimes, they don't connect the visual to singles because it's not their area. Black Belt Jones has been there for a lot of your visuals. Can you talk to us about that relationship, how that came to be?
I absolutely can. Prior to Mr. Black Belt Jones, well, I still don't like visuals. I'll be honest. I really don't like the camera. But prior to him, I wasn't even comfortable in front of the camera. Like when you're an independent artist, you need people around you that support you. You know, and he was that visually for me, because almost like every other independent artist, like you said, you don't really focus on that aspect of it. But I was blessed to have people like this around me. It's like, no, you're going to do X, Y, Z, and giving me pointers on how to be comfortable and, you know, helping me move forward, you know, but it makes it easier now to think of as far as concepts and treatments and things like that for a video, because I write differently now. So now when I'm writing, I'm actually thinking about, well, where are we going to shoot this? Well, if I say this like this, we could shoot this here. You know, like it makes the process different when you're comfortable in front of the camera. So yes, again, shout out to Black Belt Jones for that. He did that.
Yeah. So from when you first started doing music videos to now, have you kind of felt a change in yourself of getting more comfortable in front of cameras and kind of knowing how scenes work?
Absolutely. When I first started, I couldn't even look at the camera. Honestly, I didn't know where I was looking at. I'm just looking in the area of it.
Because it's not like an interview, right? It's not like it's like you're acting. You're acting like the music video, so you gotta kind of do different things for different scenes.
Pretty much. But it was like, it's different when you sit in your car and you record yourself on your phone. That's what I was used to doing. But an actual video was different. So it was like, it makes you feel weird when you can't. I can only speak for me, but I feel weird when I can't actually see myself. So I don't know what it looks like. You know, so again, Black Belt Jones, he told me one thing and it helped along the way. He said, look, he was behind the camera. He pointed at it. He said, look right here. It's 1,000. What did he say? There's like 3 million people in there. Talk to them. And it just resonated. You know, I'm like, okay. You know, it resonated different. And it was like, okay. Now I approach videos different.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's really, really good. So you didn't just start rhyming at this level, like wake up one morning and be at that level. Can you talk to us about the origins of how you got so good? Right? How did Pretty Bully kind of take on the pen? Where does it start? Who influenced you?
Well, as far as the position that I hold now and what I'm able to do, my abilities is just from not stopping. You know, like life is going to happen. I always have a saying that I say, life be lifing. You know, it's going to keep happening. It's just a matter of what you do while you're going through these trials and tribulations and things of that nature. So the bad things that happen or difficult trials that I had is it's how I created myself. You feel me? It created who I am today. So it's like me having things to talk about, things to discuss, and an avenue to release them is what made my artistry what it is. You know, I was just talking about things that were going on in my everyday life. You know, so as far as the craftiness with it, I've always had a smart mouth, even as a kid. So that just kind of,
you've got the gift of gab, right? You've got the gift of gab. You got the gift of gab. Whether you're using it to like do the dozens or quip, go back on somebody, or whether you're kind of using it as one-liners in a verse. That's just how you're using it. Have you ever done poetry?
I started with poetry. That was actually my first form of writing before I got to going outside on the block with the boys. I was a shorty though, like maybe 13 when I started writing poetry. So about 14 when I started doing like MCing and things like that and rapping with the boys around the hood. But the first initial writing process was definitely poetry.
Wow. And at what point did you like write your first song?
Oh man. I was a teenager. I would have to say it was after I had my son. So I had my son young. So I had to be every bit of 17, 18 when I wrote my first song, because initially I didn't even know how to count bars. So I was
Yeah.
just kind
Right.
of making
30,
noise.
32 bar verses.
Seriously, no end. A run-on
Right.
sentence.
Right. No hook. No hook. Just
Pretty much.
you gonna get these bars.
Pretty much. So yeah, I was about 17, 18.
Yeah. Yeah. The the Then and Now is such a great album, and you're such a dope MC. But I've also heard you mention that you are interested in looking at songwriting as a career. Can you talk to us about that?
The fact that I don't really like the camera, I actually write for people now, so that is just where I'm more comfortable. I would rather have my own dealings, and you don't even know I wrote that.
Good.
That would be more comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Just as an
That's like Sean Carter.
individual.
Sean Carter, Bruno Mars, Megan Trainor, Jermaine Dupri. That list, you're in. Those are some big names. How does that work? How for especially in hip hop where it's such a big deal, right? So like pop music, country music, rock and roll. People have songwriters sitting there, and people don't necessarily think that a lot of the big names out there wrote those songs. They're the voice, they're the presentation. And hip hop is a little bit different.
It is.
Right? And hip hop, you think that when I'm listening to this artist, that's that artist. And they're speaking things that they've lived, cool words. It's about language, right? Things that they've put together. So in hip hop, how does ghostwriting work? Is there kind of like almost like a non-disclosure agreement? Like, you're writing this, you're being compensated, but you don't speak on who you did that. How does that work for the people that are like you, who are dope and are like, how do I get into that game?
Well, the game depends on who the players are. Let's start with that. But me personally, I would rather keep it a secret if I wrote something for you. Hence, that's what a ghostwriter is. Respectively, I'll let you carry this. Once I write it for you and hand it to you, it's yours. So I don't need credit for that. That's just personally how I feel. But you have certain artists that they'll have a package of songs that are written, shipped to them, and they choose. It depends. Or you'll have the writer in the room. They'll feel the vibe. Like, it just depends on the players,
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing that. How does it work? Are there, can people reach out to you and say, you got bars, I need help with my pen? Can we start that dialogue? What's the right way for somebody who's interested in working with you as a songwriter, as a ghostwriter? How do they go about connecting with you?
Well, my links are absolutely in my bio. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this car. I'm a little distracted. Just making sure you don't hit us.
We don't want them to back into you.
But my links are in my bio. You can absolutely contact me if you need my services. Now, as far as helping with someone's pen, I'm not there, but I can be hired. I'll say that. Yeah. I can't help what you write, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's good. So if people want to connect with you for ghostwriting services, reach out through the bio.
Or verses. Or verses. If you just want a hook, like just reach out. It depends on what it is. You know?
Yeah. It's awesome. The Then and Now has several visuals. The album just dropped like a month ago. Are you guys thinking about any additional visuals? Like, because you're in full promo for the album, which is a dope album that's going to live on for a long time because of the quality of the songwriting, the quality of the production. You guys did not just create a bunch of singles. This is a conceptual project that's very well done. What are the plans for this album in 2024?
We are going to ride it till the wheels fall off. No, seriously. As far as visuals, there's still more visuals to come. We have a couple ideas as far as creating spinoffs and additions to, things that are still to come this year for the project.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't really say yet because we haven't really confirmed
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We
It's like
talked about it.
Yeah,
We have
right.
ideas all
It's
the time.
not locked in.
Yeah.
There's a track on there called Homage, right? With a music video to it. You can watch it on YouTube. Can you talk to us about that song and what the people that you're talking about in that song have meant to you?
When Quest sent me the beat, I knew immediately that I was going to pay homage to who helped me.
Yeah.
You know, like who got me to start doing what I do. You know,
Yeah.
so I knew immediately what the concept was going to be. So when I start thinking about it, it's like, well, I put myself in a position to remember when I started writing and who was influencing me at the time. You know, because at the time, like when I said Eve kept me off them tabletops, that's when Eve had just came out. She just came out, and she went from dancing on tabletops and making labels pop. You know what I mean? Like this was actually my life. You know, and I just incorporated it into the song, like things that I was doing around that time.
Yeah.
You know, even down to the visual. That's my niece in the visual.
Wow.
You know, like it's just a family affair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The you know, Then and Now has so many special songs where when you get past kind of like the top layer, you're giving them the work, right? You're giving them the bars, and you kind of go deeper into what you're talking about. There's some very special songs and very special moments lyrically. You have one song called Remember, Reminisce, right? Can you talk to us about that song? I think that's a very you let it all out in that song.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. Remember and reminisce. So you're talking about reminisce or remember.
Remember.
Which one, baby?
Remember.
Okay, remember.
Yeah. It's a beautiful song.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Like this was the first project that I was transparently vulnerable. You know, I usually just lead with skill set.
Yeah.
Instead of actually tapping into me, how I feel, what I went through. Like you have clever ways of telling your story without giving too much intel.
Absolutely.
You know? But this project was different, and I knew that I had to tap into a level of vulnerability that I haven't before. You know, I even called Quest a couple times, like, yo, I cried when I wrote this. You know, like it was different. It was definitely different, but it felt good to get it out. You know, it was therapeutic for me, and then it could be helping someone else that hears it. You know, so it felt good. It definitely felt good.
Yeah. I know that for a lot of artists, often they'll talk about things that are intimate or traumatic or difficult moments where they dealt with adversity. And to that artist, it's like, it seems like such an intimate thing that they're sharing, which it is. But to the consumer, you know, we listen to so much extremism that it actually just makes the person that they're listening to real and approachable, and you can relatable, and makes them relatable because people have gone through those things themselves,
right?
You know what I mean? But it's difficult for the artist to like actually like spill the beans on their own private life.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. I'm not gonna hold you. It was a painful process, but I knew I had to do it. Like that's a part of growth. You know, like I knew it had to be done. You know, like I kept saying in the Quest, like, this one right here is gonna be something different. You know, depending on the song, but it's like I had to get it out.
Yeah. There's a you know, one of the dope things, it's almost like when you think back to like Nas Illmatic, your albums don't have a lot of featurings, right? It's pretty Bully. It's like I got this, right? But in Duffelbag Bully, and it may have been because of relationships that Castle Money already had, there's, you know, notable features with dope artists like Rusty Jux and On Pain with Illa G. But on
they're
Pain,
actually both in this Airbnb right now. They're
are you
over
serious?
here with me. Yeah, but I came outside to record because I didn't want them to have to be quiet. They're actually here right now.
That's dope. That's dope. Those are two incredible MCs. So on Pain with Illa G, that's another one in which you share some pain. And one of them, you talk about an incident where there were some shots fired, can you talk to us about how, you know, that experience was and how that worked its way into those rhymes?
Again, life experiences. You know, like it was a close friend of mine,
Yeah,
but and just to be honest with myself and you and everybody else, we
yeah,
change as people all the
yeah,
time. So if you don't have a sturdy foundation as far as a
yeah,
friendship or whatever relationship you have, when you're changing and evolving into somebody else, it's not going to last. You know, so I can see it differently now, but it hurt me at the time when my friend at
yeah,
the time when we had our differences, so to speak. I'll
yeah,
still keep it cute,
yeah,
but it hurt at the time.
yeah.
You know, I felt like a man shouldn't have came in between us the way that
Mm-hmm.
it happened, you know, and it just kind of, when I came up with the hook for it, that's just what came out, you
Mm,
know. I really don't really have an explanation for that one.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes beats talk to me most of the time, and they'll
yeah,
tell you what to say.
yeah, yeah. That's really dope. Can you expand on that last part right there?
As far as beats
When
talking to me,
you're yeah, how them beats talk to you? Because I
it's a
think that
thing.
that's yeah. Because and it's really interesting because you've got such a dope producer sitting right beside you. When a
Mhm.
producer produces a beat, you know what I'm saying? I think it's different for all producers, right? But they're doing it. They're in their moment where they're like putting together things that sound sonically dope to them.
Right.
As a songwriter, you hear an emotion, you feel something. Can you talk to us about what it's like when you go through beats and how it brings it out of you?
Mm. Every beat is definitely different, and they all don't talk to you. Like you can hear
Mm-hmm.
a beat that's fire, but it
Mm-hmm.
says nothing. You can sit with it for a long time, and it gives you
Right.
nothing.
And you
You
can
know,
recognize that it's a dope beat,
right,
but it's not.
right. But that doesn't mean it gives you a concept. You
Mm,
know, but I am blessed to have a producer like this. Like we actually sit and talk on the phone. I can come up with an idea, or he can come up with an idea, and it's like, yo, well, what if we sample this? So guess what? Now we already got a concept. You know, like it just happens. Like different life experiences will put you in a different space to have different things to talk about. You know, or he could send me a beat pack, and I'm like, oh, this gonna be all rough. You know,
yeah.
like it'll tell me what I'm supposed to say on it. It just depends on what the beat is and the relationship that I have
Yeah.
with the beat maker. You know, like we solid over here, so it makes it a lot easier. The process
Yeah.
is smooth.
That's dope. That's dope. You mentioned that Rusty Jux and Illa G are at the Airbnb.
They
You're
are.
sitting beside Kid called Quest, who's got beats for days.
Mm-hmm.
You got bars for days.
Thank
Is something
you.
coming?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of things in the making. 2024 gonna be lit. Like the plan is to drop every quarter with some singles sprinkled in between. We out here.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we got
The
some work.
so we're in Q1. Well, we just came out of Q1, right? Uh, is there any do you know what's coming? What you have coming next? Like, is there anything that you can share in regards to like whatever you can share? This is what we're planning on doing.
I can. I absolutely can. Well, as far as Quest and I, this is just like I said, locked in. We're gonna have a lot of things coming. We are currently creating things
A
to
lot of
drop.
ideas and
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do a Bars for Breakfast project, which I'm looking forward to that. I actually have one, two, three projects that are already completed. Shout out to PA Dre. That's ready to drop this year. Shout out to Team Demo. That's ready to drop this year. Shout out to Jimmy Dukes. Um, yeah, I got projects that are ready to flow. Ready to
Wow.
flow. We with it. Hey
Yeah. Yeah, I interviewed Team Demo and they talked about you. They're like, she's a
guys, that's my
problem. She was like,
voice.
she's a problem. It's ready to go. So that's really dope. That sounds like a tremendous year. Bars for Breakfast.
Yes.
Tell us what Bars for Breakfast is and talk to us about the project that's gonna come out revolving around that.
Bars for Breakfast started out with me not having time to do what I love. I'm going to work, I'm working a 9 to 5. And let's just be honest, we be tired. You got a family, side hustles, You know what I mean? Like, but I had to make it my business to get it done. I love music.
Yeah.
So I can't just put that to the wayside and I'm going to work a 9 to 5 every day for somebody else.
Yeah.
So on my way to work, I would give myself, whether it was a 10-minute span, whatever have you, like before I clock in, like I'm gonna get this done. That's what it started off as. And then it's grew.
Yeah.
It's definitely grown into something else.
Wow. And then the project that you talk about putting around Bars for Breakfast, is it going to be like taking like the prior Bars for Breakfast episodes that you've done, or what? How are you going to put that together? What's the idea behind it?
The most recent Bars for Breakfast that we dropped, and I say we is because they were produced by Kid Call Quest. Dreams, accountability, recap. One more. It was one more we dropped.
Dreams, recap, accountability, and
Talking Walls.
Talking Walls.
There's one more, but the last few that I have dropped, it's been about 5.
Yeah,
I think it's been 5.
Yeah, 5 total.
So we've already did the videos for those and dropped them, and it's just a preview of what Bars for Breakfast has. You know, so we're still creating it. It's in the process, but that thing, that's coming this year too.
Dope. That's dope. What a special connection y'all have. Yeah, that's so dope. You talked about you got to make time to make sure that you're getting it in, right? So even if you have other responsibilities, you're going to get it in, and that's how Bars for Breakfast was born. And there's an interesting story that I've heard you talk about. I want to see how much of it you could share. When you kind of like what we could find online, where we see like that first mixtape kind of pop up in 2017, there's a reason why that started. Can you talk to us about how you were like, all right, I'm going to go for this now?
Man, I got fired from my job. I was working there for 14 years. I'm not going to give them a shout out and say where. 14 years, baby. Yeah. 14. And I got laid off. I ain't going to hold you for some bullshit. So it was like, do I go and work for somebody else?
Yeah.
I put all these years in with them. Do I do that? Or do I hone in on what I actually want to do?
Yeah.
You know, so I actually created the project after I got fired. I sit there and I went to, shout out to Ray Sell, man, he rest in peace. He recorded the whole project for me. And he sent me the files, and I sat there on my little broken down laptop that was only half a screen, and I printed out every last one of them CDs.
Old school, burning the CDs.
Man, every last, you can only do it one at a time.
Yeah.
You burn that
like
shit,
a
you gotta wait.
Right.
You gotta wait for that shit to come popping out. You know, you move on to the next. You know, so needless to say, I had a lot of CDs that I had to send out again because they might not have played. But shout out to the people that were patient with me.
Yeah.
That was dope. That was a dope experience. That was my first initial footwork.
Yeah.
Getting out here in the street and going, I felt like I was Master P or something. Opening my trunk.
That's old school.
You know?
That's how it was done. And so that's how you started. And then how did that turn into, because I think that these stories are fascinating, right? Because people will see you now and they'll hear Then and Now, and they hear a polished product with dope music videos, with Illigy and Rusty Jux waiting in the booth, right? Like this is, you fast forward from that moment to where like you're sitting at home and you're like, what am I gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? From 2017, 2016, whenever that happened, to now, this is a success story, right? Like you're all the way with an incredible project, making things happen with an incredible producer, ill spitters waiting for you. I knew about you before this interview, right? Like I'm hearing about you from people that we all respect in this thing, this Cosa Nostra, right?
Understood.
This thing that we have, this hip hop that they can't take from us, right? But from that moment to now, what happened after the burning of the CDs? How did the dots start to connect for you?
You know what? It was just a process of me existing. I can't lie to you. I just didn't stop writing.
Yeah.
You know, I went through phases. Like all my projects sound different. Starting from Respect Your History, going into Dope Chick No Soda, and then the breakup, like they're all different. There were different phases in my life. It wasn't until now, meaning the Then and Now project, that I was able to incorporate me instead of just being articulate. You know, like I was able to actually put myself on the wax. I didn't know how to do that. I wasn't transparent enough yet. I wasn't ready to share me yet. I was just sharing words, basically. So this is another reason why this project means so much to me, because I was able to like review my history and see the growth after I heard the project. It's like, I cried like a big ass baby. I ain't gonna hold you. It was just like, damn, we did that, Quest.
It's a beautiful project.
I told him day one, like, yo, this something right. This about to be something. Even before we completed, I like, this about to be something. It's about to be something crazy.
Man, shout out to Elvis. I'm gonna say shout out to him because he is the one that told me, as soon as you are able to be vulnerable in your music, it's gonna open so many different doors. He told me that, and I looked at him like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got.
You're like, nah, they're gonna get these bars, and that's what they're gonna get.
Like, I ain't gotta give him me, you know what I mean? But he was right. He was right, and not only was he right, but it helped me move into a different phase of my life. Yeah. You know? So yeah, shout out to him for that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Then and Now, available everywhere. There are physical copies available in the Pretty Bulli link in her bio. You announced that there's more projects. 2024 is going to be very busy. We know that there's more work coming with Kid Called Quest, and I'm so glad that you were on this live. We've got a project coming with Team Demo. You mentioned a few other projects, plus Bars for Breakfast.
Yes.
What a special project you guys put together. It's an honor to have had you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure. It really was. Your energy is good. I like your energy.
Thank you. You guys are dope. I've been listening to you all day. I'm gonna go and listen to some more.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you both.
You're welcome, hon. Bye-bye.
Peace.